It's great to be here with Eric on his 50th birthday. And I'll tell you, Eric and I actually weren't friends in high school.
Fucking loser!
We were, I think, competitive socially.
Eric, maybe you can get off the fucking phone?
No,
Eric lost
one of my
his,
better friends from high school.
Eric lost his virginity about 10 years before me. And we didn't become friends until...
The Who!
No, well before the Who. Eric was, well, actually, Eric and I became friends when he left the high school a year before everybody else did. And I was like, dude. And then, anyway, it's great to see everybody here. I know this is a room full of people that love Eric. But what Eric probably doesn't know is that we are also here to file a class action suit because he gave us all genital warts. He always swore they were burnt off, but I don't know. Actually, that's not true. We're all here because we love Eric, and we all have one thing in common.
We love you, Eric! Genital warts!
Well...
Who did you lose your virginity with 10 years earlier than Wallace?
We have one thing in common with Eric, or we all have one thing in common. We all love Eric, and I assume everybody here has seen Eric asleep in his clothing, holding a drink before 11 o'clock at night.
What time is it now?
Yeah, we're looking to break a record tonight here.
Is who's gonna fall? I'm either gonna fall asleep or Gardy's gonna puke.
I have to say, there's probably been 1,000 times that I've seen Eric fall asleep in his clothes with a drink in his hand. What Eric doesn't know, that about 500 of those times, I sucked his dick. And it's not. It's straight up friendship. And I'll tell you one thing. Every one of those, there is a little telltale. He really enjoyed it. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about Eric's sexuality. And Eric and women. I've seen Eric. I've seen Eric at dinner tables really alter the mood. And Eric told us, I don't know if this was. Okay. We're sitting at a table, about 12 people, 6 women, and Eric knew, and you could tell he knew, that a woman giving birth to a child, he said this and he meant it, was one gigantic orgasm.
You know it. It's so hard, and you're cutting your brains out.
I approve that message.
Erica, on the side, when was the last time at 2 in the morning you burnt your tongue on a 7-Eleven burrito?
1984.
1984, we consumed way too many 7-Eleven burritos at 2 in the morning. And at 2 in the morning after shooter night at New York, we always thought more was better, and we jacked that microwave in 7-Eleven up to 11. And every time we burnt our mouths and went, what the fuck are we burning our mouths for again?
Call your lawyer.
But yeah, no, Eric's always been a ladies' man, and he always had a lot of girlfriends when I was younger. And you know, thank God he met Fiona, and it's like, whoa. Let's take the best lady and keep her forever. But you've always been generous as a ladies' man, and I gotta say, I probably have more pairs of Fiona's panties than Fiona has.
I have a couple of Judys.
You sold them together to make your jacket.
I don't even know how he got all these women, because I remember once when we were about 18 at New York, on shooter night, during the holiday season, he suggested to a fine young lady that maybe he kiss her under the camel toe.
That was the 80s, man.
That was the 80s. That was the 80s. Generous to a fault. Generous to a fault. I have a note here, and I don't know what this note. Actually, let's get back. I have a couple of notes from people here. One is Morocco.
The videos are
another is the
shaking.
Malahat, or
The Malahat.
I'll get back to those. You're a certified real estate agent. Can you please tell me, if you close your eyes and touch my pants, if these are made out of old Century 21 jackets?
North.
Sounds like Remax to me.
Check northeast.
You know, one of my fondest memories is, well, actually, when I was really young, I remember Xavier Hollander. Does anybody know who she is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, some people might know.
yeah.
I remember this term coitus interruptus. And it's like, what is Latin? And I don't get that. When Eric and I were about 18 or 19, we were at the James Bay Inn at the pub. And we called that pub the Chicken. I'm not really sure if it was called the Chicken. And we were looking to expand our minds. And I don't know if we had it with us when we got there or got it there.
Kind of bought the mushrooms down the road at the bottom.
Okay, so we're down on Government Street. And we bought, I think, a quarter ounce of magic mushrooms so we could have an eighth of mushrooms each. And so we're like, got the mushrooms. We're like, well, let's go have a beer and then go home and take the mushrooms. So, we have said mushrooms and we go to the Chicken and we're there having a beer. And the first and only time that I ever remember, we were approached by two young ladies. Two.
No, there were 3, but 1 left.
Okay, three young ladies from Seattle.
Yes.
One left, had a few drinks, and we're like, well, let's go back to Wallace's house. And then there was 4 of us, right?
There were 4 of
and we
us.
end up together, and then we ended up apart as soon as we got to my house. Eric and, what was her name, maybe?
Mine was Dorothy.
Dorothy. And mine. I love that term, mine. Mine.
Well, we tried to share, but there was no sharing going on.
Dorothy liked Eric a lot. And Christy didn't like me that much. But luckily, in my jacket pocket, I had a quarter ounce of mushrooms. So, while Christy and I are sitting there really not doing anything, and we can hear Dorothy and Eric doing something, I'm like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and I ate the whole bag of mushrooms. And then I went and did nothing with Christy for about 15 more minutes. Well, there is so much sound coming from the room that Eric's in. And I started to come up on these mushrooms, and I said, fuck this shit. And I went into Eric's room, bust the door open, and said, buddy, I owe you $25. And Dorothy looks and says, what? And I said, I owed Eric $25 because of tonight. And Dorothy starts crying and thought that Eric and I had a bet who could get laid first. So she threw on a towel, grabbed all her clothes, grabbed Christy and ran, and that is coitus interruptus.
They came back to Victoria the next week for a little more Wallace and Eric love. Just saying.
I just have, I think, one question, and hold on here.
Who do you love? My wife.
One question. This was all when we were like 7. Oh yes, I made a note here and I'm just looking for an explanation and I am done. I just want, I can barely read it. I wrote it in a dream, but I know you told me this. What is cranking a mallet?
Yes, you should close your ears. So occasionally you're away for 3 or 4 days. You haven't been with your lovely wife and or opposite or all those kind of things, and you've been staying at a friend's house, and you're without self-pleasuring. And you find yourself in a car for 4 hours. It's the 101. It's a long road. It's straight. Not many trucks can pass you. You can see the trucks coming at you. You're in control of yourself.
But they like it.
So, pleasure is what you start to think about it. NPR can only do so much for you between 9 and 11 on a Tuesday morning. So love comes to mind. So, all I can say is, occasionally, on the way back from Portland, I would enjoy myself. And as we say, as it turns out, some of my good quality friends from BC coined the phrase, which is pulling a Mally.
All right, everybody. I love you, Eric. John Norton, or excuse me.
No, thank you, Wallace.